Luther King said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drown out hate. Only love can do that." When I was 21, I told my parents I had bulimia, and they didn't believe me, or at least believe it was really a problem. I was so together on the outside, I think they saw it as a kind of a blip or a phase or a thing I was trying out, like new fashion or a type of music. But what they failed to see was the deep self-hatred I kept so well veiled from the world. I didn't bother back then to make them understand the true nature of my problem. I was too embarrassed, too ashamed, too caught up in feeling useless and unworthy, and I wanted to be that amazing person that I saw they thought I was. So I slipped back into the jail of my secret, and I just kept pretending I was okay, even though I wasn't. So it took me another 20 odd years to be completely open about having bulimia, like standing in front of a crowd, talking about my journey. It's taken me that long to put love above fear and share my story. It has taken that long to be completely free. When I was 14, I realised my body was not right. It was fatter and wobblier and droopier than it should have been. Overnight, it seemed to get out of control. It grew lumps and curves, and my skin got covered in stretch marks, and I'd look in the mirror in horror, wondering, what happened to that lanky girl I was yesterday? Something, I thought in my 14-year-old mind, has to be done. I can't possibly live with this monstrosity of a body. It's got to be tamed. So I started doing what I thought had to be done. Starve myself. But I was crap at that. And the starvation quickly ended in massive binges, followed by making myself sick to get rid of what I had eaten. And of course, I knew I shouldn't be doing this, but I just couldn't stand myself. And I didn't know any other way. That hell lasted on and off until my mid-30s. The nightmare of that cycle was only ever relieved by the sweet bliss that eating temporarily gave me. But then the eating quickly gave way to more self-hatred, which made me binge more. You can see this vicious cycle. And I look back on that terrified, sad, ashamed, hate-filled girl, and I only feel one thing for her: compassion. She did the hard yards. She took the crazy hits. But she is not so much my measuring stick for how far I've come as my invitation to learn who I really was. She lived a life so uncomfortable. I had no choice but to grow. I had no option but to fully surrender. And let me say, I don't wish now for any other life. I don't wish for one less binge. I don't wish for one less pound that I gained and lost and gained and lost, maybe 40, 50 times. It has taken me a while to be able to say that. It's been a long, often arduous, but ultimately deeply rewarding road to be able to look back at my life riddled with self-hatred, obsession, frustration, shame, guilt, a grocery store worth of food, vomited down countless loos in countless countries, and say, actually, I love it all. And so we come to love. Love of the self kind of love. Love of the unconditional, no strings attached, completely laid bare from the depths of my being kind of love. Love of this kind is what saved me. This love, I found out, is who I really am. This love taught me to unpick myself from the grips of the destructive path I was on. It taught me to live with the body I have. But you might ask, what does this kind of love actually look like? Well, it looks like standing in front of a mirror, naked, and saying, you know what? I am sorry for hating you. I promise from now on to offer love and kindness. I didn't know any better. Please forgive me. It looks like making peace with that voice in my head. You know, the one that runs like this. You shouldn't eat that. Oh, you do need to eat that. You are so fat. How can you stand yourself? If you just gave up sugar, you'd lose weight and you'd be happy for the rest of your life. I'll just start tomorrow. All those thoughts still enter my mind. But that's okay today. I don't try and stop them. I know they are just automatic. They don't mean anything. I watch and I wait, and they always pass. It looks like allowing myself to eat whatever the hell I damn well please. No restrictions, no swearing offs, no diets, no I'm going to start tomorrow's, no detoxes. Just trust that I will eat what's perfect every single time. It looks like being aware of my choices and being responsible for them. All of them. Being a victim, I have learned, does not lead to love. It leads to binging. It looks like being deeply grateful for every binge, every thought of self-hatred, every obsession I've ever had. All of which have allowed me to understand I have a body to take care of. I have a body to experience the world through. I have a body that's a certain shape and size and gender, and it feels a certain way and it thinks certain things, all of which do not add up to who I am. Who I am is so much bigger than that. I am more than the size of my thighs and the content of my thoughts. I'm full of life. I'm capable of compassion. I'm able to choose love. Bulimia or any other eating disorder or food obsession is not an evil thing that needs to be eradicated from our society. It's not something that arises from seeing too many images of stick-thin women in the media. Bulimia actually is a very helpful signpost, one that points directly to self-hatred. I have come to understand that Martin Luther King was right. When we practice unconditional, pure, unabated, get up and do it again and again and again, radical kind of self-love, hatred is drowned out and we are free.